Welcome to some ideas about visual storytelling. And lots of people know storytelling or think they do, but not that many people are using their images to storytell. And as they say, a picture tells 1,000 tales. And visual clues dictate our views. So what exactly does that mean? And stick with me today because I'm going to share with you what it means for you and your business. And if you're not using these visual clues, these little things that kind of can creep into someone's space, you're really selling yourself short and you're not marketing yourself to the fullest extent that you could. So welcome. I'm Darcy from Sticky Bee, and it's the place to be because I help you make it super simple to brand you. And I help you get them sticky, get them stuck, and get them to stay like bees to honey. In fact, I help you get noticed so that your audience has a target to throw their wallet at. And now, how can you resist that? Everybody wants a wallet thrown at them, right? That's what we're here. That's what we're all about. So, visual clues dictate our views. And they really, really do. So subtly, in fact, that we don't even notice. So, the question becomes, how are you using these visual clues in your business? And I'd like you to really think about this because this is something that everybody can do. You see, what we really are all about is we want to disrupt the scroll. And we don't have much time to do that. In fact, it's kind of like the blink of an eye. So when you think about your audience working to figure out what they're going to stop in terms of how they're looking at their content in their newsfeed. What's going to get them to stop? And if you don't have the right content, if you don't have the right images, and if you are not using these visual clues, you're going to lose a whole bunch of views. I mean, it's just that simple. So, why images? I mean, we can all write, and in fact, why do we even care about images? And the reason we care is that the human brain, everybody's human brain, is instantly able to process a picture. Because when we were the cave folks out in the nether regions, danger, Roy Robbins, was all around, and it was up to our eyes to protect us from that danger. And these clues, these visual clues, have been inbred through multiple generations and history to pay attention to those clues. And sometimes we can see things without even really looking. In fact, our visual processing actually happens 60,000 times faster than text. So, in other words, if you've got text up for someone to read, you're going to be able to process your content, your idea, your strategy, your proposition 60,000 times faster if you can do that with an image. And when we think about it, that's what it's all about, is we've got to tell these stories in this much time. And we used to have to do it in 15 seconds, and now kind of stories are kind of growing maybe to 30 seconds, maybe to a minute, but then your audience moves on. And commercials are only 30 seconds long. So when the television industry gets into seconds of commercials, you better too, because your content is in essence your commercial. So this begs the question, how are you building your commercials? And we can build our commercials by surprise or by disruption. And in essence, when we are disrupting our audience's newsfeed, it comes as a bit of a surprise because so much is the same old stuff. So this really enforces the notion that if you're looking like everybody else, if you're trying to be the same, you got to stop that. You've got to move on to playing on your difference. Because different is so much better than being better. Because different causes a disruption. So when we say, so what about a disruption? And what does that mean? Well, sometimes it can be as simple as just a different pattern interrupt, a different color. All of the other characters in this little image are blue, and there's one red one. So which one do you notice? Well, right off, right out of the gate, it's the red one. And the red one has a smile. And the red one's got a little more detail on it. But this is the kind of strategy that you want to create with your content, with your advertising, with the way you put your posts together, and no matter what social media platform you're on. If you're using content that everybody else is using for buy my stuff, you're missing the boat and you're not grabbing attention. You're not using your visual clues. So here's something to kind of consider. That 93% of consumers reported focusing on the visual appearance when buying a product. So whether that product is digital, whether that product is physical, the whole presentation of that product, and in fact the presentation of you, is all about your visuals. So if you're not paying attention to your backgrounds when you're on video, in terms of your own personal presentation, and the presentation of what you are selling, your audience isn't going to notice. 93% of consumers reported focusing on the visual appearance of the product when making a purchase. So this is incredibly important. And if you're not applying this to the goods and services that you're selling, that's why you're not getting noticed. It's because you don't stand out. So I'm going to play around with some images here and give you some ideas about what standing out is all about. So this one I think you might find to be, well, I don't know. I think you're going to find it to be a little bit of a shock. And the idea here is it's an orange, but it's painted blue. Now we don't expect a blue-orange. So right away we've outrageously challenged color cues. And that provokes a digital taste. Now, because we're selling our products and services digitally, no matter whether they are physical products or digital products or services, we have to think about how we connect with all the senses, but do it through sight. So sight is so important in terms of how you establish your offer, how you establish the reasons for purchasing without necessarily coming up with the benefits and the features, but by doing it through images. Now, This photograph was taken by a gal named Lori Brown. And the whole idea with this photographic series that she did was to give people's head a bit of a shake. Now, a blue turkey, I find it kind of almost a little bit disgusting. But you certainly notice it because it stands out, because it's different. And in fact, you may ask yourself or suggest that blue chicken makes you queasy. Now, I think the other thing you're going to find is they're really, I'll let you think about this for a minute, but what food is blue? Or is there any blue food? And short of your 7-Eleven Blizzard, I think you're going to find that there's not many things that are blue, except maybe blueberries, which are actually kind of purple if we really think about it. But blue's not really a food color. And so it's, back in those caveman times, it was shown that if something was blue, you may want to stay away from it. It's not healthy. And in a moment, we think about, well, what berry, what's the color of most berries? And I think you'd probably arrive at the solution of, well, it's red. So ergo, red gets attention. If a fruit is red, it is ripe and ready for eating. But blue makes you kind of queasy. Although this meal is on a blue plate, I think you probably also find that there are not many plates that are blue. Now, there was in the old days the old blue plate special, but the idea is that blue is not a color you want to eat off of or, in fact, from. So here's another picture that Lori photographed, and this one is of green corn. So the idea with these images is to suggest that we, as visual clues, don't see chicken blue. We see it either white before it's cooked or brown when it's roasted. We don't see corn on the cob as bright green. Corn on the cob is yellow. So without much thought, actually probably no thought, we know that these are foods that we don't want to eat because the visual clues have been presented more than 60,000 times faster. Right away we know, don't go there. Trouble, Roy Robbins, don't go there. And green corn, whoa, excuse me, green corn is also something that we don't want to pay attention to. So when we think about how we are marketing our goods and services, our offer, our products and services, think about how you can market them with visual clues so that they stand out. Now, this was a project a number of years ago in Turkey, and the whole idea for this company was that they were building a residence, an office, a hotel, and shops and art in a whole new complex, and it was going to be fun. Artful living, it was called. So even the cement trucks were painted up while it was under construction. And they took their construction posters and even put them together by saying Artful living under construction. So it gave a whole new flavor to a project that was going to be a fun place to be. It was going to be a colorful place to be. So much better than a concrete structure. Residence, office, hotels, shops, and art. And they did a whole series of these wonderful, colorful posters for under construction. So right away it gave an image. It presented a proposition about come live here. It's fun. So color versus concrete is a whole different perspective, and you can get this notion just, as they say, in a New York minute. Now, this next one goes back to food again, and I will say that I'll preface this because it's a little bit of a creepy ad. And when it was published, there was a whole bunch of discussion about how successful was it really. But I'll put it up and let you think about what you think that this is successful or not. So some of you may need to kind of lean into the screen a bit to see what this is all about. But the idea is this was from Burger King and the Whopper, day 28. And the whole idea was this is the beauty of the burger. No artificial preservatives. So we've all heard the story about the McDonald's burger that came out of the container after a year and it looked the same as when it went in. And the Whopper says, this is what our burger looks like on day 28. And it's got green moss on it and fuzzies, and it's kind of quite creepy. But if your mind flips to why does it look creepy, it's because it has no preservatives. Ergo, when you eat our burger hot off the grill, you're not eating any preservatives. So this becomes kind of a visual clue to get the view of know that we're preservative free. We're feeding you good, wholesome food, presumably. So then if we look at kind of another ad that was quite successful is this one for Kit Kat. And I think it's just priceless how they've put this bench together with the Kit Kat pulled back, and the slats on the bench are painted brown to represent the sections of a Kit Kat chocolate bar, and of course it's red. Now we just talked a moment about red with fruit means they're ripe, and red gets attraction. A red stop sign, and in fact my red glasses and my red fingernails. So when we're putting our colors together, we have to really pay attention about how we meld all these colors and want to be able to get the best impression in the quickest, shortest period of time. So what we're really all about is making our content and our presentation visually outrageous, because we can't sniff and lick and we can't taste online. So we need to use our eyes. We need to hook our customers with the content we create that is visually outrageous, visually stand out, visually noticeable. And there is a whole strategy on how you put this all together so that you can tap in to your buyer's brain and make sure that your buyers are being influenced by the visual stories we tell. With visual stories you can tell. So if this is kind of tweaked your fancy, if this is kind of something that makes you a bit interested, I'd love you to put show me in the comments below, and let's get connected. I'm going to do a little challenge in the next couple of weeks, and we're going to talk about how are you getting noticed just on your platform. Are you being seen? If you're not getting any engagement on your content, you can be darn sure you're not being seen. So think about how you put your stories together, because stories are vital conversations. And you need to have these vital conversations. You need to have these connections. You need to have these engagements before you can make the sale. Because before they buy from you, they first have to buy you. So, what are you selling? What kind of stories are you telling? Stories are all about those chemicals that we can engage in the brain. And then I've got a whole little system called an angel's cocktail, where you mix up all of these strategies to subtly influence your audience. Because the facts may tell, but it's the stories that sell. So we want to reach in and grab your customer's heart, because 90% of their purchases are made emotionally. So how are you connecting with their emotions? I'm Darcy from Sticky Bee, and it's the place to be. If you got some value from this, I'd love to hear about it. Just give me a like. Come check out Sticky Bee Ideas. And remember, put show me in the comments below, and I'll make sure you get an invite to this challenge. Take care, folks. See you soon. And remember, it's all about the visual clues that get the views. Bye for now.